Bienvenidos una vez más a NewTV. Cuando Chris Hughes creó la red social Facebook en los dormitorios de Harvard junto a Mark Zuckerberg, Dustin Moskovitz y Eduardo Saverin en el año 2004, nunca imaginó la magnitud de su creación. En el 2008 llegó a ser parte clave de la campaña presidencial de Barack Obama y con tan solo 24 años de edad fue nombrado coordinador de redes sociales de myBarackObama.com. Un año después fue carátula de la revista Fast Company en la que titulaba El niño que hizo a Obama presidente. Hoy Chris Hughes tiene 28 años de edad y se ha dado cuenta que tanto Facebook como el resto de las redes sociales tienen el potencial de lograr cosas inalcanzables, incluso de mejorar el mundo. No es solo un pasatiempo para conectar amigos y familiares lejanos o una manera de hacer público un pensamiento o anuncio. Es también una poderosa herramienta para movilizar a la gente por causas sociales o políticas. Ahora Chris se ha embarcado en el fascinante mundo de la filantropía. Hace poco tuve la oportunidad de entrevistarlo en Miami, donde se llevó a cabo el foro de la Fundación ABC, una organización que reunió a líderes de la talla de Kofi Annan, el exsecretario general de Naciones Unidas, y a Steve Wozniak, el cofundador de Apple, entre otros, donde se discutió cómo mediante la filantropía se puede mejorar el mundo. Chris Hughes, cofundador de Facebook, gracias por esta entrevista.
Thank you for having me.
Chris, ¿qué siente cuando ve que las redes sociales cambian la historia de un país dominado por una dictadura que ni la diplomacia o ni a veces la guerra habían podido cambiar?
It's incredible. The power is with the people, though. The people who are whether it's in the Arab Spring or in any of the other political movements, it's the people who are literally risking their lives by joining protests on the streets or expressing and voicing their opinions. The people who are making that decision. Now, the technologies certainly make it easier to communicate your opinion or to find other people who agree with you. And I think a lot of times when people feel like there's a group of people that they're a part of, that they believe in, that's empowering in a certain sense. It makes you feel like you're not alone, and it helps you know that you really can have an impact on the world. So the technologies are important, but it's the people out there on the streets that are really changing the world on any given day.
Chris, ¿para qué cree usted que se está usando de una manera incorrecta o negativa la red social Facebook?
I don't know if there's a really wrong. Everybody uses Facebook differently. I think some people just use Facebook to keep up with their friends from school. Other people will use it to connect with old colleagues at a business that they used to work at. There's lots of different ways of using Facebook. I think Facebook has become, in many ways, the social layer of the web, the tissue that helps us experience all these, whether it's news, whether it's movies, whether it's really any kind of content or experience with our friends and with our family. So I don't really feel like there's necessarily a wrong or right way to use these networks. It's however people want to use them.
Chris, Mark Zuckerberg dijo hace cerca de 2 años que toda la web sería social. ¿Siguen ustedes pensando lo mismo?
I think the web is increasingly becoming social, absolutely. And by that I mean you see more and more products, sites, apps, understanding that they can get better, more precise information to a user if they're using their social networks as a filter. So you see that with something, like a restaurant finding application. You're in a new neighborhood, you're in a new city, and you want sushi, and you could get a list of 20 sushi places, but there's really just 2 or 3 that all of your friends like because they have the best quality or because they're the least expensive or whatever is the disposition that you have. And that information is incredibly valuable. And so I think that you're seeing that social layer be integrated into apps, into content sites, and into services as well, in such a way that it makes people across the web. It increases and deepens their experience and makes it better.
¿Qué le recomendaría al CEO de una compañía si tiene que hacer su estrategia de social media?
It really depends on the type of company. I mean, there are some general ideas that I think apply across the board. I think social media enables the people who know about your brand or care about your brand to become its champions. It also enables them to become its critics. So you have to be very, very careful, and you have to pay a lot of attention to how people feel about you, about your products and your identity. If you do that well, if you give them things to talk about, if you are responsive, if you articulate your own values and your own story well, then they get excited. And they're posting on Facebook and they're posting on Twitter, and it increases your reach and gets you in front of more people. On the other hand, if people aren't having a great experience, they'll be first to tell you. And so we've all had positive experiences and negative ones. It's just what we make of them.
Le hago la misma pregunta, pero ahora con un presidente de una nación. ¿Cuál sería esa recomendación que usted le haría a un mandatario para que cree su estrategia de social media?
I mean, I think those in government and those in power are increasingly understanding that social media is a place where people are spending not only a lot of time, but are expressing political opinions. I think, you know, it was only a few years ago that people in power assumed that things like Facebook were really just about entertainment and chatting. And now they understand that the conversations that are happening on Facebook are about serious things just as often as they are about silly things. That people are saying, I really believe in this politician or that politician on Facebook. Sometimes people agree, sometimes people disagree, but that's where many of the ideas are exchanged and many of those interactions are happening. So for politicians to be specific in response to your question, I think they need to be on these platforms, and not just on as in, oh, we made a page. You have to be on in the sense that you're engaging with your supporters and your detractors. You're posing questions to the community. You're taking their advice, their ideas, and you're really, you know, part of a room. It's much more akin to being a politician in a room of hundreds of people than it is being a politician up on a podium. You know, in the first example, you're always interacting, you're getting to know people, you're asking them what's on their mind, you're talking about what you believe in too, but it's interactive. Whereas, you know, if you're on a podium, which is more the traditional approach to media, you're just trying to articulate an idea and blast it out. It's a different paradigm, and the more that people in politics and people in power understand that, the more I think the better they'll use it.
¿Cómo se imagina Facebook en 10 años?
I wish I could see out 10 years.
Bueno, entonces en 5 años.
I can maybe give you 2. No, I think Facebook increasingly becomes not just a destination, but a layer of all of the different apps and websites and products that you're using. So right now we think about when you use Facebook, you're typing Facebook into your browser or you're launching the app on your phone. And I think that increasingly you're seeing Facebook become a part of the experiences that you're having across the web. I mean, something like gift giving, for instance, is something that is just now, Facebook is just beginning to experiment with. But yeah, I think in the future, when you think about, you know, what would my friend Kathy want for her birthday, previously you had to sort of ask her, maybe ask her friend, you know. There's a role that Facebook can potentially play in helping you find the perfect gift. Similarly, in news and content, being able to have a conversation with your Facebook friends in line at the same time as you're reading about the news of the day is incredibly powerful. Think about watching an event on television. If you are, whether it's a football game or a presidential debate, interacting with your friends and with your family through Facebook at the same time is also a really big opportunity. So I think that the future of Facebook is increasingly about what Facebook can do across a wide variety of experiences, not just what is on Facebook.com, the website, at any given moment.
Y así llegamos al final de esta edición especial de NewTV. Espero que hayan disfrutado tanto como nosotros esta entrevista con Chris Hughes, uno de los fundadores de Facebook. Les recuerdo que pueden enviarnos sus comentarios o sugerencias a nuestra cuenta de Twitter, @Newlink_NewTV. Gracias y hasta la próxima.